Do you also struggle with staying consistent in Valorant? Riot Games has acknowledged this problem, and it may not entirely be about your individual performance. Have you ever dropped 30 kills in a Valorant ranked game but ended up on the bottom of the scoreboard in the next? It's a common issue that many Valorant players have been dealing with, regardless of ranks. From silver to immortal players, everyone struggles with consistency at some point. It turns out personal performance isn't all to blame. Riot Games has revealed that it has been noticing these complaints and investigating what might be causing inconsistency in Valorant. We've been following along with the conversations here, and we're in the middle of investigating the game-to-game inconsistency that the community has been discussing, Valorant staff engineer Shaden said. What causes inconsistency in Valorant? Players have highlighted that Valorant servers may have something to do with unstable aim and performance, and Riot devs haven't completely denied it. According to Shaden, Valorant buffering behavior could be why some players miss their shots. Inconsistency is common in first-person shooter games, but whiffing all shots after performing your best is unusual. This is something that most Valorant players have been dealing with, and Riot has finally started an investigation. According to Shaden, no concrete reason is known yet, but the infamous peeker's advantage could be blamed. Due to the game server, frame rate, ping, movement input, and more, player peeking sees the stationary enemy first. However, this is just a single instance. Many players complain that they struggle to land a kill even when they're not overpeaking on high ping. Shaden believes some buffering is required to smooth out player movement, accounting for ping variance and packet loss. So, this buffering player movement could be why the game often stutters, leading to whiffed shots. However, server issues shouldn't always be blamed. Individual performance heavily depends on the enemy's skill level. Your opponents might be the reason why you failed to transfer your previous 30k into a new game. How to be consistent in Valorant. Consistency comes with great practice. Try to adopt a pre-game aim regimen to help you warm your hands. A consistent practice routine will help you perform better in the game. Most importantly, develop healthy gaming habits by queuing with good players. Good aim won't always stick, but team communication, game sense, and map knowledge can help you tackle inconsistency in Valorant. Riot is actively trying to improve Valorant gameplay consistency. On the latency front, one of the chief complaints is how the game still feels inconsistent even when measures like input and render latency, network round-trip travel time to server, and tick rates remain stable. That leaves two possible issues, namely, network buffering and network jitter. Variable network conditions and client frame rates can mean that the game client often receives player inputs in uneven, unpredictable bursts. Network buffering attempts to smoothen gameplay by introducing a small amount of delay before processing player input data to hide inconsistencies in how packets arrive. On the other hand, network jitter refers to the variance in how long it takes sent packets to reach their destination. If jitter is high, the server needs to delay your inputs by a larger amount on average, because there are frequent, unpredictable gaps between one packet and the next. The Riot team has identified a couple of minor improvements in these areas. At the moment, when network buffering jumps in size due to a network or performance hiccup, the system takes longer than ideal to recover. During that short recovery period, players may temporarily experience higher end-to-end latency. This is most noticeable when alt-tabbing with background frame rate throttling set to a low value. Riot will be implementing improvements to address this, so you'll experience fewer unexpected increases in latency. Secondly, Valorant minimizes network buffering where it can to keep input latency and your view of other players as close to real time as possible. However, high jitter networks may encounter a cyclic pattern of latency adjustments every few seconds, where latency can feel inconsistent. Riot says it is working on modifying buffering behavior to account for this and improve overall consistency. What about peeker's advantage? Riot is also taking claims about high-ping players having an unwarranted peeker's advantage very seriously. One of the core tenets of the game's design is that latency should not affect how you experience the game, so the team will be upgrading its internal tooling to measure the exact peeker's advantage. The developer will test various networking scenarios to exactly measure whether an aggressor's high ping can have a noticeable effect on these values. In addition, it will also review data from live matches to identify trends in how high ping impacts performance and match outcomes. Riot will continue to publish the results of its findings when it has them. Moving forward, it plans to continue building out its internal testing capabilities to measure and improve Valorant gameplay consistency. Be consistent in the game's mechanics. Whether practicing at the range, warming up in deathmatch, or playing unrated and competitive matches, you have to employ the same mentality in all modes. Don't play half-heartedly. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on the latest news and updates. Drop a comment below sharing your favorite gaming setup tips or what you'd like to see next on the channel. Let's build a gaming community together.